So, the British are running out of politeness. Sensing a problem, the government's Cobra committee met today and talks of putting pressure on the power companies who can't supply power. With more than 4,000 properties still without power, one energy company has increased compensation. But with more bad weather forecast, people are unlikely to be satisfied by that. Our reporter James Blake has spent the day at one of the worst affected villages, Yuilding in Kent.
And what about Christmas Day, when we saw nobody? Absolutely no one.
It's 4 days since the storms hit Yuilding, and unlike the floodwaters, the anger here is not subsiding.
We voted for you. Where was rescue? It's all right for you, isn't it, Christmas Day?
Yesterday, the Prime Minister failed to calm people's nerves when he visited. Now the leader of the county council faces the frustration.
I'm going to make people like you pay and lose your bleeding jobs.
This is actually the watermark. This is how high the water actually came up.
As the long clean-up begins, their accusations are simple. Residents here were not warned how bad it was going to be, and the emergency response was just too slow over Christmas.
Where were the emergency services when we actually needed them? Boats were out in the road, in the river, helping the local residents. It's the local people who are getting together, and we are supporting one another.
Were you as prepared as we could have been?
Yes, I think the emergency planning teams work well, but of course, you know, half the world's on holiday. They've gone away to stay with relatives. There is a manpower resource issue over the Christmas period, which is why I think UK Power Networks have done a really good job in very, very difficult circumstances restoring power.
UK Power Networks were going door to door today as some electricity returned to the village. It has increased compensation payouts to £75 a day for households without power, but that didn't mean much to people here. £75 a day.
Is that all it is?
I don't think that it's about the money. I don't think it's about compensation for a kind of a lost Christmas, and it's not the chaos that comes with the flood. I think it's the chaos that comes with being abandoned.
On Christmas Eve, the waters from the River Bute had risen to about here, and it was at that moment the family who lived in this house decided it was time to leave. On Christmas Day, there was another surge of flood waters. It came over these flood defences, and the waters went into the house. Following a meeting of the Emergency Cobra Committee this morning, the Prime Minister has tweeted he wants to ensure councils have a robust plan in case of bad weather. The Energy Secretary had a message for power companies too.
No one expects us to be able to control the weather, but the power companies should do their very best to reconnect people quicker and also communicate far more effectively with them.
In Cumbria, more than 1,000 people are still without power, but there the electricity companies say there's a reason for the delays.
The volume of faults has caused us to take longer than it would normally, but also yesterday the weather conditions, the high winds made it very unsafe for our engineers and linesmen to climb.
And it seems the danger isn't over. The Environment Agency warns rainfall expected Sunday night means there's a heightened flood risk, particularly in the southwest of England and Wales.
James Blake in Kent.